Oh. 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 Wait, what? What? Oh. What? Oh. I'm just goofing. New boot, goofing. Just goofing. New boot, goofing. Genuine ostrich. 3 payments. Oh. Oh. I'm just goofing. New boot, goofing. I'm just goofing. New boot, goofing. Genuine ostrich. 3 payments. Oh. I'm just goofing. New boot, goofing. I'm just goofing. New boot, goofing. Genuine ostrich. 3 payments. I'm just goofing. New boot, goofing. I'm just goofing. New boot, goofing. Genuine ostrich. 3 payments. Oh. 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 I'm just goofing. New boot, goofing. I'm just goofing. New boot, goofing. Genuine ostrich. 3 payments. Oh. Oh.
Oh shit, I don't have the chat connected. I'm professional, guys. So professional. Goofy Boots. I'm Goofy Boots. This is New Boot Goofin. New 3D printed model. Legally distinguishable Jessica Rabbit from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Sorry, I'm trying to talk over me fixing this. Click, paste link. There we go. Okay. Good. And I don't have... so the entire half of the screen wasn't working because I didn't have the other... Didn't have the other thing pulled up. Awesome. Good job, Goofy. You're doing great. You're doing fucking great. Okay. Where's window capture? I'm like so good at what I do, guys. I'm like so good. Alright. I got that up. No, that's not the right one. It's supposed to be that one. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Big B Trucker, nice to see you in chat. Alright, nice to see you. Where's the thing? Where's the thing?
He's bound it down, loaded up and trucking.
Big B Trucker's in chat. Sorry, I realized I didn't have half of my screen set up, so I had to fix it. We got Cad popping in early. Thank you, Cad. Jameson's here. What's up? All right. Now I'm here. Hi, guys. We got all of this to go through. We've got her hair. Jessica Rabbit's hair is orange. We've got her dress. Her dress is red. I could only find the grayed out version of the model. I couldn't find anything with the color in it. So I think maybe tonight, or I mean if I have time, I will put I'll add color to these models. You could be loading up trucking later. Cool. Or maybe I'll just leave it like that and why deal with it, you know. Everybody can see that I have the models here. Ooh, titties. I put it in plastic bags because I have a lot of dust. I live in a desert. So, I mean, if you look at these models here that have been sitting here for a while, there's a lot of dust and 3D printing debris just kind of covering the models. I should really clean everything up, but in order for me to keep everything clean, I put it all in plastic baggies just to keep it clean if I'm gonna be painting. And this is this is the head without the hair. It looks fucking weird, but I'm gonna be painting on her eyeliner, and you know, maybe I'll be doing her eyeshadow, and then of course I gotta be painting on her. She has gold earrings. If you're familiar with, you know, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, maybe I should have been playing. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. I'll look up a documentary or something about Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Here's some other hair pieces that I'm gonna be putting on. But today is just gonna be me trying to take off all the support structure, and assembling. Some of these pieces need deburring and assembling. And that's what I'm going to be doing today, is just deburring, you know, just like what I did with Princess Leia over here. I had to take off the entire support structure, which took like 2 days or something like that. It was, you know, I was going really slow on that. But that's what I do. I take my time on these projects. And if you think that I'm worth it, go ahead and hit the link down in the description. That's my coffee link. I have a new goal because I have another roll of filament that I want to buy. I get to keep a lot of the money that you guys donate in the coffee link down below. If you see fit. If you're already signed up here on Rumble, go ahead to the right, or if you're in the app down below, there's going to be a little $sign. You can click on that, do a Rumble rant. Any amount's fine. But I don't want to pressure any of you guys. If you don't have the money, I understand. I'm over here e-begging myself. Thanks, Biden, you piece of shit. If you don't have any money to give, that's fine. Just like, share the link. That would be cool. Do the little thumbs up button. That helps out, because your viewership will actually be able to bring me money when I do an ad read. Please, just stick around. Open me up on a browser if you don't want to listen to my stupid voice. Alright. You can mute me on a separate tab if you see fit. That's right, Jameson, that's right. Alright, so we're going to get into this a little bit. Yep, free stream. You don't have to give any money if you don't want to. Alright. Let's just dive right in. Let's dive on in. Dive on in. Oh, we started this and I don't remember where we stopped, so we're just going to keep going. Cool. This is 3D printed too. Stackable. I have stackable boxes and pull-out containers. A Nakaroshi. Cheers. I didn't refrigerate it, so I got a cup of ice. We're gonna dive on in. Woo! All right. Dive on in. Oh, I forgot to... I'm an idiot. I let the paint dry. You see that? Fucking novice shit. I let the paint dry on the brush from yesterday. Bad Goofy. Bad. Bad Goofy. Oh, where's mine? I need to pull up. You can't hear them? Oh no! I'm an idiot. Thank you for telling me. Yeah, I usually turn off the audio. Yeah. Professional, guys. So professional.
Any sort of nick or
Hey,
flesh wound
alright.
can lower the price by thousands of dollars.
We already watched like
When tuna
this
is
part
grilled
yesterday,
in,
right?
it can wriggle
So,
and
you
writhe,
guys didn't
causing
miss
a
a
chemical
lot.
reaction in the muscles.
Man, I'm
The
all
movement
fucked up.
speeds up decomposition and makes tuna sour, soggy, and less tasty.
品質が 100% のものが 30%、20% にまで落ちてしまうんですけど、そうなることが僕は一番の資源の無駄遣いだと考えているんです。
When the bell rings, the bidding begins. A range of hand signals
Hey,
known
Frozen.
as Piatti are used to place
Frozen.
bids. An index finger for
Frozen.
one and two fingers for two. But whether that's 1,100
It's an
yen
auction
a
house.
pound
There's
or
a lot of you
12,000
around.
depends on the type of fish being auctioned.
Frozen.
In just 10 minutes, the auction's over and winning bidders claim their prizes.
今日のマグロの競りの価格は今日マグロ本体がですねそんなに大きくないんですよ。103キロっていうマグロだったんでトータル金額にすると、軽自動車
Oh,
ぐらい
wow.
の価格ですね。
The tuna then makes its way from the auction floor to the intermediate wholesale building for filleting. Toyosu keeps the temperature between 50.9 and 77 degrees Fahrenheit to slow decomposition. Wholesalers also rely on a fleet of small trucks known as tare. They zip through winding corridors to minimize how long the fish are exposed to air.
やっぱり魚がまず空気に触れることが、品質劣化のまず第一なんですね。それが空気に触れさせないようになるべく必要以上のものは下ろさない、さばかない。
The Shiji team works as a unit to move the heavy tuna onto the cutting table. To prepare the tuna for cutting, first they wash it, then remove the ice.
細かくやんないで今みたいにそれでシューってやるのを何回かやった方がいいよ。
もう叩ける人がいないっつうのあのサイズ。
自分が選んだマグロがその通りだったかどうかっていうのはやっぱり魚をさばいてた時に初めて、合ってたんだ間違ってたんだっていうのが分かりますね。それまではやっぱり分からないのですごく不安はあります今でも。
Most of Takayuki's high-end customers care about two things when it comes to raw bluefin tuna:
Hold
color
on.
and taste.
Skirt. I just got
色が
a
いいと、
notification. It's coming in late though. Big B Trucker 5 minutes ago for $5 said, "You're worth it." Thanks, Big B.
He's bound it down, loaded up and trucking.
That's the steering wheel. That's not too. I'm not jerking to. Don't worry about it.
どうしても味が薄くて、で味がいいと逆に色はいいんですけど、色持ちが悪いんですよ。僕が例えば一般の方が見学とか、お見えになって、味見させてあげるんです。で皆さん、大概がですね、醤油つけなくても美味しいねって言っていただけることが多いですね。
It's then brought inside the shop where it's divided and filleted. Customers show up early to get the first pick.
どの辺がご希望ですか？場所どの辺でも構わないんで。真ん中辺で、はい。2.9。これは腹紙って言って、マグロの部位の中で一番高価な部分ですね。
Not a single part of the tuna is wasted, even its eyes.
私どもの、お客様、顧客にはですね、主にそういう、ミシュ
I'm
ラン
pretty sure that blade that they
Customers
use
have
is
relied
like
on the market's
Japanese,
high-quality
you know,
fish products
level,
for decades.
Samurai
Before the
level.
market moved to its new location and
katana,
was renamed Toyosu, it was known as the Tsukiji market.
They use the same
築
shit.
地はですね、約80年以上も前にできた市場でして、その築地市場ができた時は荷物の輸送が鉄道だとか、それからあと若干船とかを使って市場の中にお魚だとか野菜を入れてくるという思想に基づいてできた市場でございましたが、
Tsukiji was the epicenter of seafood. Its success spurred demand for all types of fish. Fishing for bluefin tuna in the Western Atlantic rose by over 2,000% in 1970, but it was difficult for the market to keep up.
その80年の間に施設自身も老朽化してきているということもございますし、それから築地についてはですね、屋根はあったんですけれども壁がなくてですね、あとそういう空調もですね入っていなかったということもあって、夏が暑くなっている時とかは商品の傷みが激しかったというようなところがございます。
Meanwhile, Japanese tuna consumption was growing significantly.
それに伴ってですね、やっぱりその漁獲量っていうのもおのずと上がってくるわけなんですが、やっぱあんだけの魚、魚体のものです。大きなものです。あそこに育つまでに何年もかかるわけですよ。それをここ数年でですね、どんどん取っていってしまったら、やっぱり数量は減ってしまうし、これからですね、どれぐらいそれが継続できるのかっていうのは
That's why they started doing other.
すごく不安が。
That's a Dyson. You see that? That's a Dyson.
Japan has since placed a quota on the number of bluefin tuna caught, but it's a double-edged sword for wholesalers
But
like
that's why they ended
Takayuki.
up switching to other types of fish.
実際の毎日日々の生活はすごく苦しいです。それで漁獲枠が決まってしまったので、魚がその場所にいてももう取れなくなるんで、豊洲に入ってこないんですよ。これは長い目で見ればこの方がいいんだって自分にふうに思ってますし、最後までマグロ屋でいたいですね。死ぬまで。
These men are climbing slippery
She's
limestone
beautiful.
cliffs, risking falls of up to 100 feet.
Why are they doing this?
Wala talagang buhay na, na matitira sa pagbagsak, puro bato.
They're looking for a rare nest made of bird saliva that's found inside caves across Southeast Asia. In the Philippines, the harvesters are known as bushadors.
Frozen?
Ako si Alvin Villaringo, isa akong busyador ng Pangalan at Nabat Island.
For centuries, Alvin Villarendo's family have put their lives on the line to gather swiftlet nests. Just 2 pounds is worth $2,900, and it's used to make a soup that locals believe is good for your health. Demand is so high that swiftlet farms are popping up all over Southeast Asia.
So
But bushadors
Well, I
continue
wasn't
to gather
following.
nests
Is it
in the
just the
wild,
nests,
even
or
with
is
the
it the
danger
eggs?
involved.
Like, I don't.
Kunting pagkakamali mo lang, wala na, diretso na talaga, laglag ka na talaga nun.
We followed Alvin on his hunt to find out why this ancient method of harvesting is still happening, and
You didn't
what
follow
makes
him
this
anywhere.
such a risky
you
business.
gave him a GoPro.
Alvin and his crew gather at Pangalan Point on Mighty Git Island. His group consists of relatives, cousins, brothers, uncles, and nephews.
Bros.
Back the boat with essential tools.
Brosen, is that Joel?
Flashlight, buho na gagamitin na panungkit.
And they're heading to Nabat Island. It's one of the 7,000 islands that make up the Philippines, and it can only be reached by boat.
I probably was near there.
They get off the boat and walk barefoot across the slippery and sharp rocks. They make
That
the
sounds like
ladder
a smart
as
idea.
they're climbing up. They tighten the bamboo with rope. Then they attach a piece of wood called kalitang to the ladder.
Yung pinakamahirap gawin talaga dyan, yung pag-akyat. Siyempre, hindi mo pa alam kung maganda yung pagkasabit ng kalitang. Kumbaga, sinabit. Tapos, hindi sure kung anong pagkalagay nun doon. Kaya medyo sa pag-akyat mo, medyo alanganin ka pa, baka biglang matanggal.
The stakes are high.
Tingin namin sa mga tao sa baba na mga kasama namin, parang mga bata na lang. Tinitignan ko yung sabi ko, kunting pagkakamali lang talaga pag nalaglag, puro bato yung mababagsakan mo. Pag hindi na sa kondisyon yung katawan, wag natin piliting umakyat kasi siyempre buhay natin yung nakataya diyan.
But advanced bushadors like him sometimes use little to no support.
Bujador.
Only their hands and feet.
Bujador? Bougie bitches? Bougie bitches.
This is the most dangerous way to climb. In the regional language, it's known as kagang kagang lang, or like a crab.
And then I looked at the Dalai Lama and he said, a gunga la gunga. I'm sorry. That's all I heard when she said that was Bill Murray going, a gunga la gunga. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm gonna turn that back a second. Let's see where 12, 11. Where's
This is the most dangerous way to climb. In the regional language, it's known as kagang kagang lang, or like
Gunga la gunga. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm such a fucking autist. Curb shifter, hey, my favorite Dutchman. Thank you for coming by, man. Where we were talking about Gunga la Gunga.
a crab.
Alright. Where was I?
Kasi may mga bato na pag hinawa ka mo, bigla na lang bumabagsak.
Alvin has had some close calls, and he dislocated his shoulder once.
Pagkakyat ko sa butas, medyo maliit yung butas.
Oh, maybe you should probably
bumaba sa kawayan, isang kamay na lang inawak ko sa
chill
kawayan.
out, bro.
Yun na, huminto na talaga ako sa pagkakyat ng sa mga matataas.
Nabat Island is completely remote. If there's an emergency, there's no way to quickly get help.
dami na rin na disgrasya na
Oh, so that nigga
pag-akyat.
dead.
Bayaw ko na isa na nalaglag, patay din.
The bushadors only harvest during the day when the birds are out finding food. Sometimes the caves are lower and easier to reach, but the waves crashing against the cliffs present a threat.
I looked at
The
Frozen and
entrances
he
are
said,
small, but the caves are usually
Lagunga,
spacious.
Lagunga.
They use flashlights to light the path. After spotting the nests, Alvin uses a spray bottle filled with water to loosen them. They are then gently peeled away from the cave walls.
Yung ibon nun, sa pag 8 piraso yung pugad, ibig sabihin yung ibon niya ay 16. Si partner lagi yan, isang pugad daw ang ibon kagad yan. Mag-partner kagad yan yung isang pugad. Siguro naman mayroon katulad din ng tao pag may forever.
The birds like the caves because
Ng ibang hayop kasi nasa loob ng kuweba, wala na rin ibang hayop na pwedeng makakapasok doon.
Alvin and his group are also careful not to pick any nests with eggs. He knows that if the bird survives, so will his livelihood.
Yun ang pinagkakakita ng isang busyador balin sa sayaw.
Sometimes the nests are hard to reach.
Pwede mo siyang magamit yung tinidor kasi itali mo siya sa dulo ng buho.
So they go spelunking.
Yun ang gagamitin mong panungkit ng
Did you know that's the weird
pugad.
ass fucking name for going into caves and cave diving? It's called spelunking. That's fucking weird, man.
The bird makes a new nest in 15 days when the old one's gone. But sometimes all that hard work the bushadors put in is for nothing if the haul is no good.
Nakakapanghina ng katawan na maliliit pa.
Alvin and his relatives are the only people who harvest on Nabat Island. That's because his ancestors discovered the caves hundreds of years ago.
Pamilya na namin yung nangunguha dito hanggang sa ngayon. Nandito pa rin kami. Siguro may mga susunod naman sa amin. Pagtapos na kami, hindi na kayang umakyat. May susunod na naman ang mga bata na yung mga walang planong mag-aral.
Alvin himself was only 9 years old when he went to the caves for the first time with his father, who was also a bushador. They spend the night on the island, but even then they're on high alert.
May mga sindikato, may mga baril, baka baril kami.
Swiftlet nests are only harvested from December to April, and Alvin can find as many as 2,500 in those 5 months. After harvesting, the bushadors clean them to remove any feathers or branches.
Wait, so
Then
what?
they divide them by their hardness and color. Class A nests are the most profitable. They're typically white,
Okay, yeah,
dry,
so they're
and made
eating
of pure
the
saliva.
actual nests.
Class B nests are not as white and may have some debris mixed in.
Huh.
And Class C nests are soft and yellow. Just 2 pounds of the best kind are worth about $2,900.
Fuck me. Now I know why he's cave diving fucking barefoot on sharp ass
The
fucking
local
rocks.
city hall buys the nests from the bushadors at a regulated price and sells them to private customers around the world.
Oh, no,
bushadors
that's
split the
not good. Frozen. That's not good. The government regulates the price at a fixed fucking rate. Frozen, you know that's not good, man. Come on, man. You gotta talk to your people, Frozen. Like he's the fucking arbiter.
Profits. Alvin makes about $600 once the season is complete. It isn't a lot of money, but he says it's enough.
In the Philippines, $600, like US dollars? That's a lot.
The nests are made from the hardened saliva of the swiftlet bird.
Kahit makakain lang ng sariwa, pwede naman kainin yan ng sariwa. Doon, halimbawa, bang nilinis mo, pwede mo siyang kainin na...
They are the main ingredient in bird's nest soup, a
Bird's
delicacy in
nest
China and around the
soup.
world. A bowl can cost as much as $100.
Sa tingin ko, yung kumakain lang ng soup ng Baling sa sayaw, yung mga mayayaman lang talaga. Yung mga katulad natin, medyo parang wala na lang.
Yeah, Jameson
But
gets
today,
it. Price
Alvin gave
controlled,
in and tried some.
government controlled pricing is horrible.
In recent years, demand for the
They
nest
fuck with
and
that.
bird's nest soup
They're
has
not.
gone up.
It's not good.
The industry is worth $5 billion. And many Southeast Asian countries have turned to swiftlet farming. They've set up structures that mimic the bird's natural habitat. Dark,
See,
abandoned
that's why.
buildings that
That's why the government's controlling it. It's because the market is worth $5 billion. Big B sounds pretty calmy, Frozen. I can keep blaming him for shit that he has no control over.
feel like caves. And they use fake bird calls to attract the swiftlets.
It's really fucked up,
Bouchardors
Frozen.
say they've noticed a difference in the number of swiftlet nests left in the wild. But they're not sure if it's because of farming or other environmental factors.
Nagbago na ngayon talaga yung maraming cave pa wala nang laman ngayon.
The farms do pose a challenge to the Bouchardors' livelihood. But Alvin says cave nests are higher quality than farmed ones. Locals believe they have
the
medicinal
best bird
properties.
vomit.
Maraming iba nagsasabi na nakakatulong nga daw.
Best
Nakagamot
bird
ng
spit
mga
ever. The bird goes
karamdaman. Ganun po.
the bird goes hot right into the bowl. Oh shit. Oh shit.
And there's some science that backs it up. A 2015 study shows the nests are loaded with nutrients that can boost a child's immunity. And they're rich in proteins, amino acids, and vitamins that strengthen organs. Alvin is finally home after 2 days of hunting for nests. The season is almost over.
Kailangan ko ng pagiging isang busyador. Yun na lang kasi hindi naman ako nakapag-aral, hindi ako nakapagtapos ng pag-aaral. Tapos unang-una ayaw ko rin magtrabaho ng malayo sa pamilya ko kasi mas kumikita na rin ako dito sa pagiging busyador.
Nagdala lang ka na
For the rest of the year, he earns a living by fishing. His wife Marby is relieved.
Tapos ginagawa kong busy, lahat ng trabaho sa bahay, binibisi ko na lang yung sarili ko para ma-divert sa iba yung isip ko kaysa mag-alala, diba? Kasi nga, hindi mo naman mapigilan. Yun na
Frozen, you got long hair now? What the fuck?
talagang kinalakhan nilang hanap buhay.
For Alvin, climbing the same caves his ancestors did is a great honor. Now he takes pride in carrying on the tradition.
But of course she's gonna, his wife is gonna fucking complain like a fucking typical goddamn coos. He's out there doing traditional shit for his family, but it's never fucking good enough, is it? Fucking bitch. I have some personal things I'm still working through, obviously.
Talaga na gustong kunin ito yung isla. Gagawin niyang resort na ipinaglaban ko talaga na na hindi niya pwedeng kunin kasi yun nga sa amin ito eh. Galing pa sa mga ninong namin.
Exactly.
Identifying a fake Rolex
shit.
can be tricky.
You know, as a person who has been dealing with these things for years, when it doesn't say Swiss, you know something's wrong.
John Buckley is a veteran watch dealer who buys, sells, and repairs used Rolexes. And they're sometimes worth hundreds of thousands of dollars.
It's just perfectly done.
These days, used watches can sell for up to 3 times their retail price. The market is estimated to be worth $20 billion, and it's growing fast.
Oh shit, I see why.
It's like,
I don't think did I say I was live? No, I didn't say I didn't tweet it out. I asked you guys to do it and you guys did it and thank you, but I didn't do it myself. I knew I was fucking up. I knew it. You guys were doing it. I see you guys reposted it. Ah, man. Yeah, Big B was the one reposting. He did better than me. He was on time with it and everything. Golly. Oh, sorry, I wasn't reading chat either. God. I'm batting 1,000 for fucking up, huh? Big B Trucker, this is the Amazon brand Tack Life. Yeah. It's okay. I let my neighbor, he has a Dremel, but he doesn't have the flex shaft thing. I let him borrow my flex shaft, and nothing gay. It's the part of the Dremel that I could, put on here. Anyway, he was stroking my shaft, and he kept it. Don't let your neighbor stroke your shaft, guys. This has been a PSA. Goofy Boots. Goofy Boots PSA. Don't let your neighbor stroke your shaft.
Everybody started buying watches.
Because they're a good way to store money. Between 2011 and 2021, Rolex has outperformed the stock market, real estate, and gold. But even experienced sellers like John have to be careful. For one, there are counterfeits. U.S. Customs showed us how it seizes up to 150,000 fake watches per year.
Rolex watches, inside in just plain old bubble wrap. And Rolex would never put their watches in little Ziploc bags.
But spotting a
Complain
fake
about it
isn't
more,
always as obvious.
Schmeagle.
If dealers like John get stuck with a counterfeit,
John
the effects can be
Schmeagle.
disastrous. Not
John
just financially,
Shlomo.
but it can also destroy the reputation.
New young bucks that come into the business,
Oh,
they get caught out there real fast.
Oh,
and
shit.
your reputation is burned.
Oh,
Burned when
fuck.
you can't make good on a sale. Factory bezel, factory dial.
We followed John through Manhattan's famous Diamond District to see how he strikes deals in such a competitive market.
It's 13.3.
No, it's not so bad.
Of course it's not so bad. Why do you think I'm offering it to you?
This section of 47th Street is home to over 2,600 businesses selling gems, jewelry, and luxury watches. John buys and sells roughly a dozen watches per week here from stores and other collectors. Today, he's visiting two of his...
Big B, I'll get a flex shaft so me and my neighbors can bond. Nice. Hey man, you do you, man. You like to see homos naked, man. You do you, man. No. Home it when you make it.
Regular spots.
Little Eddie's got a paddock that I need. Hopefully I could buy it from him, and I'm
Sorry,
going to show him a couple
Jameson.
of pieces that I've got.
I gotta find it first.
Oh, that's good.
What's good about this watch, it comes fully complete. Look at the condition.
You got everything?
Yeah.
John already has a customer lined up for this rare Patek Philippe.
I really like this watch for
What's
myself.
the date on the papers? I'm curious. Not that it matters.
He's hoping to get it for under $40,000.
Listen, I know it's a nice watch.
oh
I'm
my
not
God,
here to beat you up.
watch
you know
him
I
haggle.
need it. 36,000.
Watch him haggle.
I thought I was pretty good at 35.
37,000, that's my final price. I think it's fair. You can think about it.
I don't have to think. Mazal.
No problem.
You're the man. Thank you. This watch will be sold for 40,000 and change. So I'll make $3,000 on the watch, which is not bad.
Fucking A.
Down the street, John has his eye on a gold Rolex day date with diamonds on the bezel, or the ring surrounding its glass.
How much is this $21,000 watch?
25,000.
Is this entire segment just following this fucking
3, 5.
this fucking guy haggle in New York?
It's factory diamond dial, factory diamond bezel.
23.5. The deal, but I'm gonna do for you. I'm gonna obviously say yes, but
Really? It's beautiful.
John typically has around 30 watches in his collection, and most already have buyers lined up.
We like cash flow. I write a check, I want to know that, I'm going to have that money back, I'll make my profit on it, and move on to the next one. It's like the holy grail over here. I didn't even think they were still producing them.
He doesn't want to risk getting stuck with something he might not sell, even if he loves it, like this diamond-studded Rolex from Qatar, which has an asking price of $175,000.
When you look at these that they make on the street and you compare it to something like this, I mean, it's a different world. I don't have a home for it.
It does kind of look
Despite
like
the
Anthony
high price
Bourdain,
tags,
huh?
John says he
Just a
rarely makes
fat-
more than a few $1,000s
He's just a
per
fatter
watch.
Anthony
Sometimes
Bourdain.
it's only a few hundred.
There are very few home runs in this game. I mean, I don't know what.
Yeah, look
is
at that.
considered
Look
a home
at him.
run.
He
Making
really
10
is.
grand on a watch. It's like that doesn't happen.
Good one, Jameson.
Thank you, Yasha Mazal. And thank you. Thank you so much.
In fact, he makes even more money selling obscure parts than the actual watches.
These are interesting. These are called color change or tropical. And years ago, you know, guys would never keep this stuff. But now, because they're unique, they keep them and they ask for a lot of money for them. These are Daytona dials, which are actually
Got a
pretty cool.
notification.
This is just tons of stuff. Wallets, Rolex, duffel bags and hats. We have it all. We do.
He's hoarded these Rolex parts in his workshop for 25 years.
We're here in the lab. This is where I get to practice my guerrilla watchmaking skills. You have to have a very specific part for a very specific watch in order.
The fuck did he say? Guerrilla watchmaking? Avon, are you here? Motherfucker. What the fuck did he say? Avon, you got some splaining to do for this motherfucker. I think he's bringing down your craft, man. Guerrilla watchmaking. I wanted to slap him for that.
For it to command a very high price.
John
Avon,
has
what
seen
the
demand
fuck
for
was
Rolex
that,
parts
man?
and watches skyrocket after 2017. That's when a Rolex Daytona worn by the actor Paul Newman broke a record, selling for $15.5 million plus fees.
Fuck me.
Selling officially at $15,500,000. Thank you for your patience, Natalie. It is
'cause some
history now.
fucking guy
$15,500,000.
wore it.
What happened after that was this big bull run, and I hate to use stock terminology, but that's what it was.
You
It's like
love to use
everybody
stock
started buying
terminology.
Watches.
You son of a bitch. You fucking love to use stock terminology because that was probably your first fucking venture, huh?
In 2021, Rolex retail sales were estimated to be higher than the next 5 brands combined.
Avon, he's going through all of your
So why are they
your
in such
fucking
high
things.
demand?
He's fucking
First
it all
off,
up.
their reputation for quality. They're made by hand with materials like 18 karat gold, platinum, and stainless steel.
No, Curb asks, Avon makes watches? No, I think he's just he's an aficionado. He's he likes them. I think he buys and sells them. It's kind of like a side hobby of his. But he, Avon Chartsdale does his, there's a reason they call him he calls himself Chartsdale. He has his charts. He does the Forex I don't know if he still does Forex now, but he does the stock shit and I made some money following his tips, a couple of years ago, back when I had money. Back when money was still meant something. Biden, you son of a bitch. Anyway.
And there aren't many new ones entering the market. Brands like Patek Philippe and Audemars Piguet each make fewer than 100,000 watches per year.
Gesundheit.
Rolex makes an estimated 1 million annually. And that's still not enough to keep up with demand.
For most people, the only way to get one is to get one secondhand. The result of that, in many cases, is higher demand than available supply, which causes prices to go up.
Rolexes also last and can resist all kinds of extreme conditions. In fact, it started off as a sports brand back in the early 20th century.
They began making highly functional timepieces designed to go underwater, top of mountains, and on jet planes. And these were professional grade timepieces for people that needed accurate measurement.
These were not collectible watches back in the day, okay? You look at some of these, watches that are 6 and 7 figure watches, they sold for maybe $100 at a military PX or something like that.
Oh yeah, Curb, you do.
Edmund Hillary,
you do some,
one of the first to summit Everest,
some stonks or some
wore a Rolex Oyster Perpetual during his expedition in 1953.
altcoin
In the
stuff,
60s,
right? Like
Rolex began
Monero.
sponsoring tennis matches,
I know Monero's
auto
one
races,
of your things.
and a number of high-end luxury events. Rolexes also started showing up a lot more on movie screens. Actor Sean Connery wore one as James Bond. Marlon Brando wore one too. By the 1980s, Rolexes were sought-after collectibles. Today, a Rolex Daytona model is so popular, it's almost impossible to get on a waiting list.
I'm still on a waiting list since 1996, just to give you an idea.
But buyers are willing to spend a lot to skip the line, which is why used Rolexes can sell for 2 to 3 times their retail cost. And as demand soars, watch dealers like John have to be even warier of the biggest trap of the trade: counterfeits. Customs Officer Steve Nethersall showed us how they sniff out and seize counterfeit watches at JFK Airport. Before a package ever lands in the U.S., CBP gathers intelligence on the sender, container, and aircraft. He'll start by looking at the box.
Well, I'm looking because I don't have my glasses on, so I'm cheating. The first, when it comes in, is the country of origin. Louis Vuitton, they're coming from France. The watch is coming from Switzerland. When it's coming from China, bing, that's your #1 red flag. Rolex would never put their watches in little Ziploc bags. They don't put these inside it, the silica gel. Rolex does not send to individuals in the United States. They only send to their retail stores. More than 90% of all the goods that we receive that are counterfeit are from China. Sometimes by the naked eye you can't tell, but sometimes it's that bad you can. But you look and you can see the scratches and how it's not machined properly to a nice finish.
So when Steve finds a counterfeit good, he seizes it. Then he figures out the item's MSRP, using the brand's website and CBP's internal database.
This one here would be about $11,000. That's the MSRP, what the manufacturer would be losing had this been genuine. These are generally on the internet for about $200.
Back in his workshop, John is figuring out whether this Rolex is counterfeit. After 25 years in the industry, he usually knows what to look for.
I'm looking at the color of the case. This piece is not the same color as this piece. This is 18 karat gold. We always have to check, because I can't take a chance on paying for it, #1, or selling it to someone else if I'm not sure.
One of the most reliable ways to test gold Rolex parts is a scratch test on a black stone made of quartz. Then he adds a few drops of nitric acid, which dissolves any material that isn't gold.
And there you go. Wow. The acid did not dissolve the gold. Over here, the acid dissolved the gold. It is not authentic.
But most of the time, he can spot a fake with the naked eye.
We could usually spot these just based on the symmetry of the case. They don't have that nice Rolex slope. The other, obvious thing that you look at, if you look at the amount of space between the face and the glass, you will see that it is very high. It's probably got an extra 1.5 millimeters.
John also has his son James help with fraud detection.
And I scroll through hundreds of listings and I pick out the 10 that are fake.
The threat of counterfeits hasn't stopped sellers or buyers, though. Rolex is also getting in on the secondhand market, launching its own program to sell pre-owned Rolexes. Younger generations are fueling this new demand surge, and they're finding out about these old watches on TikTok.
I saw this watch. It's a 36mm white gold with a factory diamond dial. Can you pull it out for me?
John's son and his friend Tyler McCorsky have helped him build a huge social media following.
Buckley's with us today. Let's get it.
The bread and butter is the negotiations. People like to see them, so we want to give people what they want. But our other thing that we really do well is more so education content.
Today, we're going to show you how to change the battery on quartz watch.
John teaches audiences the same lessons on TikTok he showed Tyler when he was still a kid.
First time I ever sold a watch for Buckley, I was 8 years old, and it was a rubber swatch. Remember those? The rubber swatch watches. And he says, I need $5 on each one. Go sell them wherever, school, wherever, and keep whatever's left after the
Fucking typical.
As far as the whole hustle and the whole grind,
I got that Wimbledon for you if you
Fucking
want it.
typical.
I actually
He got his 8-year-old kid to go hawk his shit. Yeah, sure, he was trying to teach him how the tricks of the trade. Fucking Shlomo over here. Look at that profile, by the way. But fucking A. You know what I teach my son? How to properly, dial in a 3D printer, not how to fucking swindle his schoolyard buddy into giving him more than what something's fucking worth. Anyway, sorry. I hate when these people do this type of shit, man. I'm gonna call it out. But anyway, Curb Shifter. Not gonna lie, I thought 3D printing was easier than this. Post processing is a lot of work. It seems. Yes, it is a lot of work. I'm probably gonna be doing this post processing for this particular model, the legally distinguishable Jessica Rabbit up here. You see all these little pieces up here, and this is her put together. I'm gonna be doing this for. Seriously, you saw it too, Jameson. I'm gonna be doing this for like maybe a day and a half, 2 days. On stream, of course. I'm not gonna be doing this off stream just because, like, if I wanted to, I'm trying to milk this content for all it's worth, and people like seeing, the tree supports or whatever this is called getting taken off, and the this right here, this is so the original model was whole like this, and because this isn't flat, so I couldn't print this flat on this, so I cut it, and then I put a in the modeling software, I cut it at this weird angle, because if you look at the model here, you'll see Slut Wife Comic Rabbit Jessica Bunny is what we're gonna call her. No, but so it came whole like this, and so I cut the model, and then I put a peg so that I can easily line it up, so that when I glue it together, it's gonna be something like that. And of course, it'll fit together a lot better once I take off this tree support. And I'll probably have to sand down a little bit more to get it to fit together. Yeah, it looks like it. It already looks like it. Anyway. So yeah, that's what I was doing. But anyway, we'll get back to the content here we'll get back to the swindlers. The swindlers on A&E.
You enjoy the going out there and trying to make money aspect of this business?
15-2. Thank you.
Despite all these new players, John isn't worried about the competition.
You go by these guys who fancy themselves, watch specialists, and they've been doing this for a year or two. Everybody's a specialist or an expert, okay? Listen, I'm a friggin' expert. I've been dealing with this stuff hand to hand. I've got the junk to prove it.
Yeah,
of course,
I bet
he
you
really
do,
left
bud.
a cup of coffee down here? Did he really do that? That's just rude.
Making aloe products takes quick hands.
La penca, que siempre, según va saliendo la penca, ya echan su espina.
A good knife,
Diariamente tenemos que filetear alrededor de 3,000 a 3,500 pencas cada empleado.
Who's that guy
and
talking?
lots of plants. It takes about 20 aloe leaves to make just 1 gallon of aloe vera juice. But some aloe products have been found to contain no aloe at all.
It's so easy to put out a fake aloe product, so there are all kinds of synthetic gels.
So how are real aloe vera products made? And can we spot the legit stuff? We visited the largest aloe farm in the world to find out.
Yeah, a lot of the fake aloe is going to be
Universal Aloe's
glycerin
farm covers
and
5,000 acres here in the Dominican
fucking
Republic. While there are hundreds of types of aloe
fragrances
plants,
on top of
this
the
farm chose
glycerin.
Aloe barbadensis miller because it has 20 amino acids.
Minerals, vitamins, carbohydrates, hormones, and other bioactive substances.
Once the baby plants are in the ground, it takes about 8 months for them to mature. About 750 people harvest these fields. They're dispatched in groups, harvesting section by section.
Siempre uno le quita la penca que están llenas y uno la corta y le quita la punta, quita las espinas. En la parte de abajo es en el tronco, como digamos. O sea, le cortamos la penca madura, yo la agarro penca por penca para no maltratar la mata, la que va a quedar.
The cut leaves won't grow back, but the plants will grow new ones. It will take them about a week to harvest just this one area.
La caloría, el sol es demasiado fuerte, porque es lo difícil de este trabajo, pero uno ya está acostumbrado a aguantar.
Oh, I haven't been reading any of this.
Que uno lo necesita.
One by one, workers pick up all the harvested leaves and toss them into a truck. Those leaves head to a processing plant 2 miles up the road.
Aquí llega diariamente 260,000 libras de
Wow,
pencas
that's a
frescas,
lot.
como le expliqué
Oh,
a la
look at that
gente.
goop.
Y eso es
Holy
convertido
shit.
diariamente en 20,000 galones de jugo fresco para exportación. El proceso se inicia con el lavado y desinfección de la planta.
The leaves go through
Oh,
a
that's
bath
a
of chlorinated
disinfectant.
salt water to kill off any little critters from the field that may be hanging around. Then they get trimmed.
Spiders and
Se
shit.
remueven junto con la cabeza y la cola para que la penca quede en situación de poder ser extraído el filete en el área de fileteado. Y luego se da un segundo lavado.
This jiggly fillet is the gel inside the aloe leaf. That's what's used in real aloe vera juice, gel,
See
or
that,
skincare
that
products.
quick movement that the guy was doing? Holy shit, that one's going faster.
Para sacar el filete de la hoja de aloe vera.
Holy
To do
shit.
it, they need a really good knife.
Yo lo apodo el rayo, porque cuando yo lo cojo, yo siento que...
Damn, that guy's going super fast.
They might
Look at
make
him
it look
go.
easy,
Look at
but
him go.
filleting takes precision.
También tiene que estar exactamente en el punto para poder sacar el cristal del aloe bien y perfecto. Mayormente hay mucha diferencia. Cuando viene la sábila grande se siente bien porque uno rinde más, pero cuando viene la sábila pequeña uno pasa mucho trabajo para filetearla y se siente como débil, se le va el deseo a uno de trabajar.
And they have to move fast, filleting 3,500 leaves a day.
Los fileteros más
Son
rápidos
of
somos
a
muchos.
bitch.
Hay muchos y a veces nos ponemos a echar competencia para saber mayormente cuál es más rápido y somos muchos los más rápidos que hay.
Muy rápido.
Many aloe companies use machines for filleting.
El proceso de producción que llevamos a cabo aquí es muy artesanal. Alrededor del 80% de todo nuestro proceso es manual, porque hay mucho menos desperdicio y porque la planta nuestra es, la hoja es
Well,
muy
I mean,
irregular.
yeah, if
en su
80%,
morfología.
you know, that's the thing about the hand done, you know, those hand cutting by hand is probably you're gaining all of that in product by spending that much money on these people that, you know, are very good at cutting by hand. And they're also doing it very fast. Whereas if you spend the money on a machine, you're going to have to dial in that machine. And that, you know, this is coming from somebody who likes machinery. You know, I'm pretty good at making this machine work very fast, but I have to take time. Time is money in making my 3D printer go a lot faster, and I have to, you know, I have to have a proven model and a proven, you know, formula in order to do like active input shaping. Active input shaping is probably it's the single greatest thing to happen to 3D models and 3D printing in a long time. It makes the accuracy so much better. Anyway, little tangent.
The leftover leaf bits go back out into the field as compost, and the buckets of fillets, those get weighed, then poured onto this big table. Workers here will inspect them for any leftover leaf bits, which they'll then slice off. Once it's all clear, the fillets head to the shredder, which grinds them into a pure aloe gel.
Y desde aquí pasan hacia estos serpentines de pasteurizado o UHT. Se eliminan cualquier tipo de impurezas y de bacterias que pudieran tener el jugo.
At this point, ascorbic acid is added to extend the shelf life.
Nuestro producto es 99.9% aloe vera puro y el otro 0.1% es ácido ascórbico.
The gel flows into this spill-proof bag.
Estas dos cabezas robóticas son las que se encargan de coger la tapa de la funda metalizada, abrirla, llenar la funda y cerrarla automáticamente sin que haya ningún contacto con el medio ambiente.
This bag is then vacuum sealed and put into a bigger metal box. The whole process from leaf to this container takes only about 3 hours. But before this shipment can leave the factory, its contents have to be tested for quality assurance.
Alrededor de 20-25 muestras diariamente.
I'm sorry, I gotta go look back at this fucking bag.
Gel flows into this spill-proof bag.
A spill-proof bag.
At this point, ascorbic acid is added to extend the shelf life.
I went back too far. Sorry.
Hang
with me.
Aloe vera puro y el otro 0.1% es ácido ascórbico.
The gel flows into this spill-proof bag.
Estas dos cabezas robóticas son las que se encargan de coger la tapa de la funda metalizada, abrirla, llenar la funda y cerrarla automáticamente sin que haya ningún contacto con el medio ambiente.
This bag is then vacuum sealed and put into a bigger metal
Oh,
box.
okay. So this wasn't what I was thinking it
The whole
was.
process from
Sorry.
leaf to this container takes only about 3 hours. But before this shipment can leave the factory, its contents have to be tested for quality assurance.
Alrededor de 20-25 muestras diariamente.
Hay un análisis que es el físico-químico. En el físico-químico analizamos lo que es el pH, la viscosidad, la parte de color, textura y todo lo concerniente a la apariencia del jugo como tal.
Me toma alrededor de 1 hora hacer este tipo de análisis.
Only when a container passes the lab tests can it be released for shipment. These ones are bound for Rotterdam in the Netherlands. There, the gel will be pumped into bottles for forever living products. But not every bottle of aloe is made like this. In 2015, ConsumerLab.com tested 10 aloe products for ingredients.
Half of them failed our tests.
A 2016 Bloomberg investigation found that Walmart, CVS, and Target's aloe products contain no evidence of aloe at all.
It's so easy to put out a fake aloe product. So there are all kinds of synthetic gels. Often you'll see the word like carbomer is a synthetic gel. And if you see a clear gel, you have no idea if it's really aloe or carbomer.
Most aloe products aren't closely regulated by the FDA. That's because they're considered supplements or cosmetics, not drugs. So a product can say it contains aloe, but it could mean a range of things. It really does
did not
contain
know
aloe
that.
fillet, or it's the whole leaf ground up, and not just that inner fillet. Or it's a synthetic gel, and there's actually no aloe, which won't hurt you, but doesn't have any of the supposed benefits of aloe.
There's not a lot of regulation or oversight of aloe products.
It's also hard to regulate because aloe grows naturally, all over the Americas. And its gel has been used for thousands of years to heal burns and reduce inflammation.
The challenge is translating that history to our current rigorous medical examinations.
Another problem is there isn't clear scientific proof of aloe's healing powers. Some studies have shown it helps soothe burns and speed up healing, while others show no effect on burns.
So it's not that aloe doesn't help. The evidence isn't there right now.
The outer rind of the leaf has been found to have a laxative compound called aloin. One study found that it caused cancer in rats, while another found it helped with constipation. But the FDA has banned aloe from being sold as an over-the-counter laxative drug.
There's no patent on aloe, and so there isn't a lot of incentive for companies to be putting lots of money into clinical studies.
They don't really need to do those studies to get these products on the shelf.
Still, consumers worldwide are flocking to aloe as they embrace more natural products. Universal Aloe saw a 30% increase in demand in 2020. As consumers navigate this growing market, how can we identify the products made with real aloe vera? Well, Todd says it's actually really tricky, but he did have a few suggestions. First, you should always check the ingredient list.
You want to see aloe, you want to see its first. You really need to be super careful on the wording, because if it just says leaf, it could be any part of the leaf. You could be getting the latex, which you don't want, unless you want a laxative effect.
Look out for tricky wording, like 100% gel. That could mean there is 100% gel, but not all of it is aloe fillet.
So you really need to know what part of the leaf is being made. When they say aloe gel, is it a gel that's made from blending up the whole leaf, or is it truly just pure aloe gel?
Despite these uncertainties, experts don't expect the demand for aloe to dip anytime soon. In 2022, the electronic waste created by humans weighed as much as 350 cruise ships, and the industry for recycling it is worth an estimated $40 billion. We visited one of the largest e-waste recycling companies in the US to see how hard the process really is. That's Ingrid, president of Sims Lifecycle Services, one of the largest e-recyclers in the US. Ingrid took us through her biggest facility to see how it's repurposing or recycling up to 6 million pounds of old electronics every month.
All right, so I'm pretty sure. Whoa, white screen. So I'm of the opinion going into this right here, this e-recycling, that it's kind of a scam. Hey, Miami MILF. I'm gonna use FOMO's bumper.
Imagine advocating to make the government bigger. That's the biggest loser energy ever.
Oh, I moved on from Jerry. I think I'm just gonna put Jerry together another day or something. I moved on to Jessica, legally distinguishable but not Disney property, Jessica Rabbit, or Jessica Bunny from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Anyway. But anyway, well, what was I saying before I got distracted by Cutie MILF? That's right. E-recycling. E-recycling, I'm pretty sure, is a scam. It's a big, it's a work. And I believe that it's a work in order to get government subsidies. And yeah, it's a machine that does nothing, a bridge to nowhere, you know. Anyway.
So we're in Laverne, Tennessee, just outside of Nashville. This is a 200,000 square foot facility where we focus on receiving, processing electronics.
Sims mainly gets electronic waste from office gear, like laptops, computers, printers, or phones.
We have Fortune 500 companies like HP and Lexmark, insurance companies, banks.
The rest of its clients are secret, but Ingrid can tell us what happens to these devices once they get here.
Reuse, repurpose, re-engineer if we can't reuse it. Very last resort is recycling. What you see here is where...
Yeah, Brenna, I miss Bunny too. I've reached out. She hasn't reached back out. So, you know, I just kind of waiting on her response. That kind of thing. I hope she's just, you know, I hope she took her trip to I hope she's just, I hope she's fine and that she just took her trip to Japan early. And she's just kind of staying off social media, I hope. But I don't know. I've talked to everyone I could who might know her personally. Yeah. And, if you guys are ever feeling like you need someone to talk to, my DMs are open. I'm here. If you guys ever need someone to talk to, I may not be able to help you out financially because I'm on here actually begging for money, but I'm here. I happen to know a little bit about a little bit. I could talk you through it, or if you just want to just vent to me, I'm here. DMs are open. I hope she. I know you're joking, Las Tejas. Yeah. I would rather she just come out and just be like, yeah, I hate all of you. Okay. That's cool.
We first get the material in. It's a FIFO type of process, first in, first out. That's how we work it. Here she's offloading a truck, so she'll go in, get her forks into the pallet, and pull it out. This must have come from an office refresh. It looks like there's some old DVD players, some old stereo equipment.
The first stop, the scale.
Then they will get the weight and input it into our data center. And that's what Drew is doing over there with the computer. Then it gets tagged with a barcode. It'll tell us whether we go to destroy, recycle, or we go to reuse.
The building's broken up into recycling on the right and reuse on the left. We'll start here.
If we can reuse it and reuse the parts, then you're not making a new part. So this is the part harvesting area for laptops. Sometimes when you can't sell a whole laptop, we can remove parts from it and either rebuild a laptop to sell or sell the parts.
To get all these tiny pieces out of a device without hurting them, it takes a lot of skill and...
different screws, a lot of different screws.
So much of it still needs to be done manually and to do it properly, and that's very labor intensive.
Memory units, processors, screens, keyboards, and motherboards can all be reused. Workers will clean them, check that they're functioning, and send them back into inventory to be sold again.
Lots of times when we're allowed to sell units, we'll do revenue share with it. So we'll share revenue with the client. So that's kind of a nice way to add life to the electronics and then also
what
get
percentage?
Some revenue back.
What percentage are you revenue
from
sharing?
Computers or servers are another moneymaker, but they come with an added challenge of security.
You can see the fence up. You need a key card to get in. I don't know if I have access. Oh, I do. So here's where you'll see the higher value material.
Any stored data has to be wiped before a drive can be resold.
We have a lot of banks and insurance companies as our clients, so you can well imagine that those folks want their data erased properly. This is where you'll see some of the wiping going on of the hard drives. At the end here, these have already been done, so they're ready to go to the next step to get resold. So our drives will sell wholesale or on eBay. You can see these guys are deemed for eBay.
You are
so you'll
awesome,
see 1 terabyte,
ML.
500 gigabytes, all different size drive. These smaller drives, there just isn't any value in it anymore.
So if something's simply not worth Sim's time to refurbish, it's sent to be recycled.
On the other side is destroy, recycle. And over here, we have a lot of folks that are depackaging and also removing hazards.
This part's called demanufacturing.
So we'll remove hazards, batteries, and all that type of thing before it goes to be shredded. On this side,
there's a lot of hazardous materials in electronics, like mercury, cadmium, and lead. And if devices end up in landfills, that bad stuff could do major damage to groundwater and soil.
This is what we want to ensure does not go into the shredder, because this could be really dangerous for fire. If we leave toner in there, I mean, it goes up like nothing. Toner is explosive. And then the plastic acts as a fuel source. That's our biggest challenge.
Everything that's not hazardous gets shredded.
So this is Lori, and Lori is running the shredder, all with a mouse, right, Lori? This is the control room.
I have control of how much goes in the shredder, how much is on the belts. I can stop the belts.
LTS, you got the fucking point. So after these fucking vultures go through and they get out all the gold, the cobalt, the whatever the fuck, you know, LTS is right. What they do is they send all the silicon chunks and all the wiring that's all bundled together, you know, maybe if they don't strip all the copper out of it, you know, all the stuff that these companies deem, it's not worth. Yeah, Curb just learned that toner is explosive. But all the shit that these companies deem, you know, our profit margins aren't high enough, they send off to, you know, on garbage fucking rigs, on those barges, and they dump them onto these fucking towns on Africa and South America. They don't do it so much in Africa no more, but the recyclers from Europe do, whereas we send ours now down to South America. And these people, they burn all of it. They go through and they start these huge fucking fires, and they're trying to get out our leftovers, you know, all the chemicals and shit. And yeah, LTS is the same thing. These kids, these fucking kids, are breathing in all these toxic fucking chemicals and fumes and shit that these companies are deeming, there's not enough profit margin in there for us. It's not true. You know, if you want to be a recycling company, you're gonna have to be a true recycling company. If you want to be a profit company with overtones of recycling, then that's cool too, but don't lie to the consumer and say that you're a recycling company when you're a profit company. Goofy Boots has spoken.
And jog it.
It's a 400 horsepower quad shredder, which means you have these teeth that are grinding up all the material here, and those are nice printers that are getting eaten up and ground up.
Hey, Susie.
Out to this on the outside. And this is the really cool part. It's very noisy. The first thing that we're trying to do is remove any steel.
A giant magnet overhead pulls out all the steel.
This is where the charge is added to the material, and based on the plus and minus will repel. So the aluminum gets thrown the farthest away, so that's why aluminum is here. Then the circuit board is in the middle, and the plastic falls right down because it doesn't accept the charge.
The leftover mix heads to another machine named Heidi.
Heidi is German. Originally, we were using it to separate plastic, but the technology wasn't keeping up. It doesn't work on black plastic, and you see today, everything's black plastic.
Now, Heidi...
Guys, I'm going to leave you here with, just for a couple minutes. Is this... Hold on. Double check. Copy. Paste. Yep. Alright, there we go. I'm going to leave you here with Business Insider for a minute. Make some lunch for my boy, Goofy Shoes.
He separates everything using infrared technology.
Ginger's our metal finder. She was named after the engineer who designed her because he had a ginger beard. And ginger is just taking out any further metal that's still within the plastic mix.
What's left goes into the Dutch sink float machine, named Otto.
So I guess that's the only male machine we have.
In Otto, plastic floats, while everything else sinks.
We scoop off the top, the good stuff, and that's what will go to Montreal to our plastic compounder, and then goes back to HP to get reused into parts.
And those raw materials can make Sims some pretty good money.
So we really want to recover that value.
Every electronic has precious metals in it.
Some gold, some copper, some platinum, some palladium.
So all these elements can be separated and sold to be reused piecemeal. The copper and precious metal streams will go to a copper smelter in Canada or in Europe or Japan. The steel will go to a steel mill here in Tennessee.
But with more than 75% of e-waste landfill bound, companies are missing out on huge profits. To put it in perspective, in 2019, an estimated $57 billion worth of precious metals and valuables in electronics were thrown away or burned.
If we recycle it, then we're not digging holes and mining for virgin metals. It's a way to get some really precious commodities without expending all that energy and damage to the environment.
But it's a catch-22. Recycling e-waste could be a moneymaker, and it's better for the environment. But it's both really hard and expensive to do.
They're not designed to be recycled. Many different chemical compounds all smashed together. When devices got smaller and smaller, removing whole components became less and less possible.
Treating and disposing of these hazardous materials is dangerous and pricey. Recyclers also have to constantly upgrade machines and processes to keep up with this changing technology. And that's costly too.
We normally change the blades once a year, and when it gets towards the end, the blades get a bit dull. Well, that's when we get a little bit anxious, and sometimes they're jams.
Sims has invested 1,000 hours updating just its Sally the Shredder machine. And while recyclers are facing all of these challenges, e-waste is only expected to increase by 38% over the next decade. So is there a way to make e-recycling easier? Some say it starts with manufacturers.
What a lot of the manufacturers are focused on, rather than making products live a long time, they see their way out is to keep selling as many products as they can as rapidly as possible. And they try to compensate by saying, don't worry, it's recyclable. And so this churn and burn mentality is very harmful.
Jim thinks one solution could be for manufacturers to create electronics that are actually meant to be recycled. For example, making devices that don't have toxins, so they're safer and easier to break down. But until that happens, Sims will keep wiping and shredding those hard-to-recycle electronics.
Harvesting acai is a dangerous job in Brazil. Workers climb thin palm trees deep in the Amazon rainforest.
Ela pode chegar lá em cima, no pegar do cacho, ela quebrar. No meio que ela é frágil.
These berries have become one of the most popular so-called superfoods in the US, and they aren't cheap. One bowl can cost up to $15. And while the berry has exploded in popularity in recent decades, small farms like this haven't really been able to cash in.
A gente fica com a menor parte do lucro aqui na comunidade, né?
To this day, most acai in Brazil is harvested by families on small-scale farms. But big plantations are on the rise, putting pressure on families like Lucas Nogueira's and a way of life that goes back generations.
Mas é uma dádiva de Deus. Uma importância muito grande para nós, para nossa alimentação, para nossa sobrevivência.
So how did this Amazonian fruit become so trendy? And what is the true cost for the people who have been harvesting it for generations?
Vem junto. Aqui tem cacho, aqui, olha aqui, açaí, olha aqui, açaí, ó.
We met Lucas at the end of the 2021 harvest, but there were still some berries left on a few trees. His family's farm is roughly 70 miles from Belém, the capital of the state of Pará, which grows more than 90% of the acai produced in Brazil. The only tool they use to climb is a single piece of rope called a piconha. They used to be made of leaves.
Essa folha aqui, a gente pegava, torcia ela, aí passava por aqui, fazia isso, para ver como o tempo vai mudando, né?
Today, Lucas's son Luiz Fernando will go up.
Se tiver, só põe que tiver maduro, não tá que tiver paró. Pode subir, vai com cuidado.
The trunks are so thin that climbers have to be lightweight.
É perigoso sim. O cara tá lá em cima e uma árvore quebrar. É arriscado o cara quebrar o braço, quebrar a perna.
At the top, they swing from the tree to reach multiple bunches. Going down can be dangerous too, especially while carrying a large knife and holding an armful of branches. Dropping them could damage the fragile fruit.
Graças a Deus eu nunca caí dessa iseira. Quero que isso não aconteça comigo.
Eu já caí 3 vezes dessa iseira. Não me bati nenhuma vez, graças a Deus.
And the risks don't end at the climb.
Inclusivamente a gente anda nessas áreas, tem muitos animais, né, que nem cobra.
Lucas and his family harvested 53 baskets like these in 2021, earning them an income of about $950. That's as little as 20 cents per pound. Meanwhile, a pound of processed acai sorbet can sell for $7 or more in the US. Part of the issue is that Lucas has to sell his acai as soon as possible because the fruit goes bad fast. That leaves farmers who don't have processing machines with little leverage to negotiate.
Não tem empresa aqui na nossa comunidade. A gente vende para atravessador, para poder chegar na mão daquelas pessoas que vão beneficiar, que vão se dar bem.
Merchants bring the acai to Belém by boat. It's a race against the clock to sell the fruit before it spoils, so markets run overnight.
O açaí apanhado hoje, ele dura em máximo 48 horas. 72 é assim, extrapolando.
The price of the baskets varies every day, depending on the demand.
Hoje, em média, paneiro desse aqui está custando, hoje, 60.
Most of the acai produced in the state stays in Brazil, but exports have skyrocketed, growing about 14,000% between 2011 and 2020.
Você sabia que uma tigela de açaí nos Estados Unidos custa R$80? $15.
Quanto?
$15.
$15? Não sabia não.
Some acai gets transported to processing facilities like North Acai. Every day, 22 tons of fruit are turned into frozen pulp, the acai that most people outside of Pará are familiar with.
O açaí é uma películazinha com caroço. Então 95% do açaí é caroço.
This is the stage where we see the biggest jump in price, about 177%.
Esse produto tem que estar congelado em menos de 24 horas. Aí a gente vem para cá, aonde aqui é o túnel de congelamento. A polpa fica congelada nesses monoblocos, aonde a gente depois leva para a câmara de estocagem e guarda ele para vender ele no mercado internacional e nacional.
Today, more than 70% of Brazil's acai exports end up in the States.
Nós estamos muito presentes, muito forte, tá? Na região da Flórida, na região de Nova York, região de Nova Jersey, aquela costa leste americana de norte a sul, nós estamos bem presentes.
The global market for acai is expected to reach nearly $2.1 billion by the end of 2025.
O mercado como a China abrir as fronteiras para consumir esse produto, nós vamos aumentar.
Açaí's popularity took off in other Brazilian states in the 1980s when it became part of workout culture in Rio and Sao Paulo. The bowls made regular appearances in this.
Alright, I'm sorry guys. I didn't realize that I had this zoomed in. So a lot of the subtitles were cut off. I'm gonna try and fix this right now. No, that's not the one. There it is. So I'm sorry if you guys missed a lot of that. Alright. Well, in any case, we're going to go back to... There we go. Oh, of course Miami MILF got it, because, you know... Está aprendiendo portugués. Fucking bitch. Yeah, very professional. Very professional. Okay. Where was I?
Popular 90s soap opera that took place at a gym. Its high-calorie content made it a perfect pre- or post-exercise food, and its antioxidants made it easy to brand a superfood. That came with claims that it can solve all sorts of health issues.
We're talking about the latest in a long line of foods and fads in which we are fucking over a bunch of you know, a bunch of a bunch of farmers.
Issues like
obesity, type 2 diabetes, coronary heart disease, strokes, hypertension, high risk for COVID-19, cognitive difficulties, sexual difficulties.
But nutritionists
I don't believe
say
that,
this narrative
Jameson.
has been blown
I believe
out of
to have a
proportion.
white
Wait a
lighter
minute.
is
One
bad
food
luck.
can't do that, can it? No, of course not.
Nonetheless, Americans were hooked and made all kinds of acai bowls, mixing in fruit, granola, honey, and more. But it's a far cry from the culture of the people who have eaten it for much longer. Indigenous people living in the Amazon have harvested and consumed acai for centuries, maybe even millennia, and it's still a staple food in the daily diet of people in Pará who eat it fresh with savory meals.
Ladies.
Lucas was 12 when he
You're all
started climbing
bitches.
acai trees, and he still does, 36 years later.
Aí eu tirava para o meu consumo, para ajudar meus pais. Então eu acharia que ele não tinha condição de me bancar, né? E aí comecei a apanhar o açaí, né? Para me manter, para minha roupa, era sorteio, meus calços, sapatos.
In recent years, acai has also made headlines in American and Brazilian media for reports of children working in the industry. But farmers like Lucas say it's always been this way, and that it's normal for everyone in the family to help out and learn the trade.
É uma cultura porque vai passando de pai para filho, de avô
Welcome back, Cad.
para neto, né?
Nowadays, Lucas owns this land along with 55 other families. These kinds of settlements are called quilombos, or a quilombola community, and many go back centuries. They were established by enslaved Africans and Afro-descendants who ran away into the jungle and started communities like this to survive.
Afro-descendants. Notice when they're using these new fucking words, they're gonna keep making up these fucking words just to make you feel bad. And by the way, thank you, Susie, for letting me know 30 minutes. You know, a couple minutes ago you let me know. So thank you, bitch.
Many learned from indigenous people how to harvest and process native foods, including acai. The Brazilian government estimates there are nearly 6,000 quilombola communities in the country, and a 2013 study found roughly 75% still lived in extreme poverty.
Mas é uma comunidade rica, né? A gente se diz assim pobre, mas se torna rico, né? De espírito.
Lucas's acai trees grow alongside different native trees and plants. But larger monoculture plantations that produce more fruit are on the rise. The amount of land used for these plantations has more than tripled since 2006.
A gente trata como sistemas homogêneos muito frágeis, né? De pouca resiliência.
These plantations are often located far away from floodplains where acai trees naturally thrive.
How's
that
it go,
means
foot
big
big?
producers have to irrigate their acai trees, while farmers like Lucas rely on natural seasonal flooding from the nearby river.
Isso sem falar no problema da biodiversidade por inteiro, né? Se você, enfim, transforma a Amazônia em plantios.
Now
Some
45
small producers
minutes.
have also been favoring acai trees
Thank you,
over
bitch.
others, which could become an issue in the long run.
I appreciate it. Has everybody retweeted and got as many friends as they could in here? Because I'm looking at the campaigns. Oh shit, all right. Are we still streaming? We are? Okay, it's gonna take a fart real quick, okay? Retweet and try and pull all of your friends in here, and you know, do the like and follow if you haven't already. All right, it's gonna take a fart real quick. All right. I think we're back. I think we're still good. I should tell everybody to refresh. Oh, okay. I think the campaigns tab is broken. Oh, no, it just popped up. Okay, thank you for everybody for getting in here, because I'm about to do an ad read. Stick around, please. I have to make one actually work. Is that one going to work? That one should work. It should work. Server error. Oh, this is awesome. I'm gonna love tweeting at Chris Pavlovsky here. Oh, there we go. Okay. It finally worked. Rumble's exclusive apparel has finally arrived. They are now offering 20% off all purchases in the Rumble store with discount code DROP20. If you want to support the brand that is fighting for free speech and fighting for our First Amendment, this is the best way to do it. They have tees, sweaters, hats, plus much, much more. Go to rumble.store and make sure to enter DROP20 as the promo code to get 20% off your entire order. Once again, that's rumble.store. Promo code DROP20. Am I professional? Am I a motherfucking professional? Am I a motherfucking professional? I'm a motherfucking professional. Do that. Do the button. Do the button. Some motherfucking professional. All right, where was I? That's right, acai. I'm gonna get up on Miami MILF's acai.
And experts worry that as acai's popularity continues to grow, the cultural traditions of Pará and the Amazon could be
As long
lost.
as I can watch Miami MILF.
A transformar o açaí numa commodity. Isso é ruim. Aí tudo depende da escala, porque, né? Enfim, não interessa. A qualidade é pouco, mas tem qualidade. Não é isso que
What is
interessa.
this guy yelling about?
Acai is something Lucas and many people here take pride in.
Esse aqui é o processo do nosso açaí para o nosso consumo local.
I need the bigger one. That's what she said.
Olha aí, a gente bota um pouquinho de farinha aqui dentro, né, do açaí. Tira aqui um pedacinho dele aqui, um pouco do feijão, um pouco do arroz. Aqui. Aí, um pouquinho do açaí. Então experimente como nós, para vocês sentirem o sabor do nosso açaí paraense, o açaí normal, puro, e vocês vão ver a delícia que é o nosso açaí. Obrigado.
Companies spend almost $14 billion a year on mouthwatering ads like these. But it takes more than a big budget to make food look this good.
Oh, nothing here is simple. As far as the work we do is incredibly complex, very technical.
Steve Geralt has filmed commercials for big brands like Hershey's, Heinz,
I saw
and Pepsi
this stuff on
through his
YouTube
production
one time.
company, The Garage. And there's a lot of money on the line. Filming one 30-second ad can cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they're working against the clock because they use real food, which doesn't stay pretty for long.
That's the misnomer about everything. Faking makes things harder.
We visited Steve's studio in Brooklyn, New York, to see how his team films
No.
the perfect burger.
I remember
Steve is-
watching one of these fucking production companies. They were using they were doing a promotion for a pizza. Some fucking company or whatever the fuck, and they were spraying like this fucking industrial oil all over this pizza. They were using like fucking a frozen one, not a frozen Asian one, an actual below 32 degrees Fahrenheit pizza, and they were screwing it into a fucking a table, a platform or some shit, and it's like, okay, well then it's not food anymore if you're using like machine screws and you're using industrial oil. Like this is fake. This is not real food. The guy was steaming a fucking a slice of cheese that wasn't even cheese. It was probably plastic. He was probably melting a piece of plastic on top of a burger,
Team are working on a test shoot for Burger King. They'll use it to try and land the client.
Yeah, good.
Brett Kurzweil is a veteran food stylist. It's
A
his
what?
job to make the burger look like a...
What was that name? Check out early life on that guy. Kurzweil? I know that name. Like Ray Kurzweil? Like Kurzweil, keyboards? Yeah.
Whopper. He usually has a budget of a couple $1,000s, and he always buys a lot more than he'll use. So he can pick out the perfect looking bun, patty, and veggies. Then he gets to work, but he doesn't cook the meat all the way through.
Because I didn't want it to shrink too much. I wanted to get as much volume out of this
Oh,
piece
so
of meat
it's
as I
not
could
it's
get.
not real.
Even perfect patties need final touches, so he uses a colorant made of gravy darkener and soap to add a charred look.
And soap.
He only has to paint half the burger because the camera films from just one side. A mixture of Vaseline and pulverized meat helps fill in any holes.
Vaseline.
And those grill marks?
That's
Another trick of
disgusting.
the trade.
I
Brett
feel
heats up
like
metal skewers.
I feel like Michael Douglas from Falling Down. Like, look at this picture over here. Look at it. It's showing you a good juicy burger, you know? And here's this guy actually doing that shit. He's making a juicy looking burger. Yeah, I could already read chat. Everybody's on my fucking side here. Everybody's on Michael Douglas's side from falling down. It's fucking bullshit. You order the fucking burger and it's flattened out. And it's fucking bullshit. Yeah, Brenna, you're right. Here we are. I think we're just complaining. Honestly, we're just finding a reason to fucking complain. That fan is a little bit much. I'm gonna turn that fan off. All right.
And then
I just pushed into the burger with the hot metal and it seared.
next he melts the cheese using a clothes steamer.
How did you change it to make it burger?
I just said you're for food. But I'm trying to control how much comes out, so I've covered up some of the holes.
He cuts the onions and tomatoes on a slant so they lie flatter.
I think you would have been a really good surgeon in another life.
Well, yeah, my mother would have been happier.
Some other tricks: denture cream to hold up ingredients.
For condensation, we'll use glycerin.
Glycerin, that's the word I was looking
While
for.
Brett finishes up, Steve's team is making sure everything is ready on set. The trickiest part is combining what the client wants in the commercial with what's technologically possible.
They have no idea about engineering. Yeah.
Oh,
they're just like robots are
Frozen.
cool. We want a
Frozen.
robot.
But since today he's working on a test shoot,
All right,
he
everybody,
just has to
Frozen's
implement
here.
his own vision.
We're gonna go back a minute.
One of those people that.
We're gonna go back to his. Hey
section.
man, you didn't tell us about. You didn't tell Daywave or anything like that. You didn't tell us about what was it? Bird nest soup. Bird nest soup. That's what we were looking at earlier. I'm gonna scrub through here. Oh, that was the watch guy. That was Shlomo doing the reselling of watches. And hey, here we go. Frozen. Do you know this? Look at that. Do you know what that is? That's bird saliva. And they graded it. Do you see that? They graded this shit. There's a delay, so he already wrote this out. Oh, you never knew that? It's bird saliva. yeah, man. We And there's grading. They grade it. And so one thing that I was yelling at chat about was fucking it's regulated by the Filipino government. I had no idea. And they do the price regulation. They buy it from the farmers, I guess you would call it. And so we were like, I started this trend where we were all, well, I didn't start it. It was probably Royce that started it, where we were all in chat and I was here just yelling at you like, Frozen, why do you let that happen? Why do you let this government that you literally have no connection to, why do you let this government push you around? Anyway, we were fucking around. It's good to see you, Frozen. I did not set up your sound drop yet. Yeah, the Chinese bird spit. Where were we? Oh, look at that! Hey guys, when we're doing food marketing, do you think do you think we need a fucking face shield? See, if you and I, if we do food marketing, we're just gonna make food and we're gonna take pictures of it and it's gonna be good, right? These guys put glycerin and shit all over their fucking food. Where were we?
is finalizing the set, from the tables to the ketchup bottles off to the side.
I want it to feel real. So if it's blank, it won't feel like it's
They feel
it's
real.
a real commercial kitchen.
Every inch visible to the camera matters. So Paola's team built this tile wall just for this shoot. But they said it still felt empty.
Fucking marketing.
So we just added these 2 floating shelves up there. We plan for something, and then we just have to be ready for the unexpected.
Her typical props budget is $40,000 a shoot, but she can pull a lot from her personal collection.
This has been 20 years of collecting. And this is like Salvation Army, garage sales, years and years of hoarding. I always like to have extra. So if you're shooting, an example, a glass of soda, I need to have at least 6 of the same glasses for quick changes if they're scratched, because it's video. So it's a little bit, one breaks, exactly.
So when that burger arrives, it's game time.
I gotta go on set.
Oh, Frozen! I knew
now
that.
It's a race.
I've been to Mindanao. First person I killed was in Mindanao.
Against the clock.
Get the tomatoes to fresh.
Angle feels right.
Can we melt the cheese a little more so you gotta get a little heat in there? Go ahead and roll camera.
No, that was the look. That was the look, Miami MILF. That was the.
All right, good.
That was planned.
Today they have custom-built water-cooled lights that don't torch the food.
We used to have like these really hot lights that would like cook the food and it would die really quickly. So like the ice cream would be like impossible to shoot in slow motion because it would just melt the second you turn the lights on.
But that lettuce will start to wilt in a matter of minutes. Hot lights are not. So quick-moving robots and tons of planning are essential to keep a shoot on schedule, because any delay could mean running over budget. The first action.
Yeah, Frozen. That was fucking awesome, man. Goofy spook. Glowy boots. No, I was ambushed. It was a training mission, and we were we had no intention of getting into contact, and we ended up. Thank you, Susie. We ended up getting ambushed by some Abu Sayyaf. We just ran into them. Yeah. It's my first yeah. Anyway.
It's something known as the Hitchcock effect.
But the whole background is like warping around it.
Cue the robots. They're actually the same kind that build cars.
They were Abu Sayyaf. They were Indonesian. They weren't Filipino.
This robot cost $150,000. And it can pretty much do any move you can think of.
Sometimes you can program the robot pretty quickly. Some moves take a whole day.
Here's the second shot. Steve envisioned the camera moving through a field of burgers as each gets pulled out of frame.
We're probably only like 1.5 inches away from that burger when we land. So to try to do that with people would be almost impossible. It's a really complex move that the robots do really easily, and
Thanks,
they do
Brenna.
it the same exact way every time.
But speed is not the only challenge. Every shot has to be identical. If a burger is even a centimeter off, or if something on set gets bumped between takes, they might have to start over.
These fries don't want to behave.
This laser helps them keep track of the burger's position.
Or sometimes you might do a job where there's 100 takes of the same move, like, and that would be a nightmare.
They also have to be really flexible on set.
There's always curveballs that happen because it's a lot of problem solving, which I love.
For the last shot, Steve ties all the ingredients on a fishing wire, and a robot slices the string and the camera catches the perfect drop. This exact move was actually Steve's claim to fame in 2016.
Did this famous burger drop video that went viral all over the internet.
He slowly raked in millions of views across platforms, and global publications started covering his work. All that social media buzz earned him a lot of viewers and new clients. And he was able to launch The Garage in 2019.
The burger drop was kind of like the spark that started the path towards where we are today. And now TikTok is like crazier than Instagram ever was for me.
Steve is a former food photographer, but he wanted to combine his love of engineering, food, and video.
And amazingly, there's a job that lets me do that. There's a lot of different jobs that my guidance counselor did not tell me about, including my own.
Today, his team films 40 advertisements a year, billing over $5 million annually.
Kind of feels like CGI, but it's actually done in camera. And I think to accomplish that like larger than life feeling takes just a lot of technology and skill.
Steve says they know they've done a good job when viewers can't tell a whole production is hidden behind a shot.
They have no idea what we do at the end of the day. It is fun for me for people to understand how complex this stuff is.
But all that complexity is worth it, because there's a lot of money on the line. Fast food companies poured $5 billion into advertising in 2019, and for good reason. They know just how valuable the power of food suggestion can be. A Yale University study found that visual cues like food ads can have an effect on food cravings. Another study showed visual cues can influence overeating and even weight gain, and that can convert into traffic and impressions for a brand.
You're responsible for a lot of people breaking their diet. Yeah, me included.
These brands led the pack in ad spending in 2019, and budgets just keep ballooning. In September, Burger King announced it'll invest $400 million in restaurant renovations and advertising, a 30% increase from 2021. Which is why Steve and his team filmed this Whopper pitch, hoping to hook a new client with their dancing robots and juicy burgers. A pack of instant noodles is one of the cheapest non-perishable foods you can buy. So how did the humble instant noodle become a billion-dollar industry?
Momofuku Ando is an entrepreneur with a wild resume. Everything from selling textiles to charcoal, and he even started a school at one point. Now, Ando's story has admittedly gotten a bit mythical over time. There's even this adorable children's book written about him, and an incredible animated short film about his origins. It's called Samurai Noodles, and it's probably the coolest hour story page a company can have. And I think you can see the resemblance. But anyway, to really understand how that giant box of ramen ended up in your grocery store, we have to go back to 1940s Japan. After World War II, Japan faced widespread famine and had its worst harvest season in decades. A Nissan spokesperson would later state that at the time, people were starving and queuing for noodles at street stalls. Because of strict rationing laws,
I'm gonna call it. Yeah. Hit the like button. I have a link down in the description. You want to donate to my 3D printing? That'd be cool. Rumble rant, all that good stuff. Of course, the raid never works first time. Thanks, guys.